When it comes to personal branding, one of my favorite people is Drew Barrymore. I would describe her personal brand as bubbly, lighthearted, a little bit childish, like in a very positive, happy way, happy, joyful, and candid. In case you grew up under a rock, Drew Barrymore was a child star and she went through a lot. She had all kinds of addiction issues and mental health issues, and she's been very honest moving into adulthood about what those issues were and has even used kind of her celebrity to bring attention to the kind of experiences that she had that were both positive and negative. She played a lot of roles where she was like the lead in rom-coms and things like that, but she always maintained a really quirky sense of self that has lasted throughout adulthood for her. So even in her teen years, she kind of had this like flower child, ethereal vibe, and the way that she obviously speaks, even her elocution, the way that her mouth moves and her mannerisms and things like that are just very, very familiar, and they've stayed very consistent, and they don't seem like anybody else, right? Like you kind of can just tell it's her. And when she's in a role, even when that role is a very like written very traditionally as like a rom-com female romantic lead, she plays it a little bit differently. She plays it a little bit flighty or a little bit ethereal or a little bit goofy, and that is incredibly endearing. That sense that you get that like she could actually be your friend in real life, I think is a huge part of the cachet and appeal of Drew Barrymore's personal branding. For example, she has been in a lot of publications recently for her normal bathroom, right? Like she has this flower cosmetics series that she sells, or line or whatever, and but she'll film herself like putting the makeup on, and fans have just remarked that like she looks like a normal person, right? She'll do videos without makeup on. She looks like in t-shirt and sweatpants, and she has what appears to be a very normal house, a normal kitchen. She feels like a normal person, and so that sense of like you can tell who she is and she hasn't departed from it. She has stayed very relatable and normal, but also being a little bit quirky and likable. That has been very consistent over the course of her career. I would say that what has changed is some of the childishness has morphed and kind of become more sophisticated and refined in adulthood. And you can really see that come to life in this latest version of her career, which is the Drew Barrymore talk show. And this is hilarious because she is really well known for like now, the first season she didn't really do it, but in the second season she's done it a lot where she'll like get up on the couch, she'll cross her legs, she'll get physically like close and hands-on with her guests. And people have kind of made a little bit of a mockery of it, but I think for the most part, people find it incredibly endearing and warm and meaningful, which are all things that have been part of her personal brand from day one. I think some of the real takeaways from Drew Barrymore's personal brand is that it's good to be a little bit different, to be close enough to kind of that leading female character, but a little bit quirky because it makes you infinitely recognizable. I also think she's a really good study in leaning into your idiosyncrasies. So some might say that she even has maybe a little bit of a speech impediment, but she leverages the uniqueness of her vocal patterns, of her body language, and of that kind of childish, fun spirit in a way that makes her really, really likable. It's really hard not to like Drew. Follow Winsome PR for more personal branding tips and ideas.